Welcome to Lakeside Lanes in Manchester, New Hampshire for this is a team event. This is the Ladies Internationals. This is actually the 10th round of this tournament, and as you can see, we've got two matches going on here that are about to get started. On lanes 3 and 4, Maniacs are taking on Park Place Lanes, and on lanes 5 and 6, Hammer Time is facing Eastside Girls. Just to get it started, in the first match, Donna Pope is on lane 3 and Sharon Tavernese is on lane 4. And on lane 5, Stephanie Ayotte, and lane 6 is Kathy Brown. The other members of the teams, for Maniacs, Stacy Gelati, Brenda LaMagdalene, Maria DiFrancesco, and Beth Powers are the teammates. And Sharon Tavernese is joined by Dottie Ellis, Carol Downey, Deb DeRocher, and Joanne Rosano. And also Peggy Tosi is on that team as well. She's on the bench in this match. You can see her at the scorer's table. And for Hammer Time, meanwhile, Stephanie Ayotte's teammates are Diane Katz, Jackie Paul, Laura Paul, and Faye Sawyer. Meanwhile, Kathy Brown is joined by Lynn Ward, Tasha Murray, Lynn Thompson, and Jill Wood. And on that team, Eastside Girls, 4 of the 5 bowlers are from New Brunswick. The only American bowler is Lynn Thompson, who you probably know is from Massachusetts. Donna Pope with a terrific spare on the on lane 3. She took out the 4 horsemen left side plus the 10 in the second box. Sharon Tavernese with the 4 horsemen right side. Sharon is probably familiar to many of you because her husband Joe is one of the top bowlers in New England and has been for many years. Sharon with a nice spare taking down the 4 horsemen. And Donna Pope almost with a backdoor spare there. She had that 5 drop. Missed the head pin, but ended up getting everything but the head pin. And she takes it down for a 10 box. Donna has 35 through 3. Sharon Tavernese with 26 with a ball. Meanwhile, Stephanie Ayotte has 13 through 2. Kathy Brown with 19. Sharon Tavernese with, that was a 6 fill on the spare. She left the 1, 3, 7, and 9. And the second ball she hit a piece of wood in the middle that took out the 9. So she has 32 through the third, and there's a 9 in the 4th box. Donna Pope with an 8 box. She's got 43 through 4. Kathy Brown with a 10 in the third. So Kathy has 29. That's good for a 9-pin lead, with Stephanie Ayotte having 20 through 3. And there is a solid 1-3, and that's a strike by Donna Pope in the 5th box. Solid 1-3 pocket hit. 8-pin was the last one to go. And a strike by Kathy Brown in the 4th. Kind of a light hit on the 1-2 side, but everything went down. She got some good sidewall action. And there's a nice shot by Stephanie Ayotte taking down that 1-8. That's a difficult spare. Take another look at it. She had to hit pretty full on the head pin. The ball carries through to take out the 8. Tough spare. Stephanie Ayotte has 30 with the ball working through the 4th. Kathy Brown 39 plus that strike fill. and she almost has another strike. Drops 9, leaving just a 5 pin. Stephanie Gatt drops 6, leaving the 1, 6, 8, and 10. See what Kathy Brown can do with this 5 pin. And it doesn't go. She caught a piece of wood there. Didn't catch the pin. Meanwhile, Stacy Gelati and Dottie Ellis have started in on lanes 3 and 4. Their match is a little bit ahead because of the marks that Donna Pope and Sharon Tavernese threw. Pace is a little faster over there. Stacy starts with a spare. Dottie Ellis. And let's take a quick look at the scoreboard. Here you can see that's 53 to 50, so that Mass Maniacs have a lead of 6 pins plus 2 marks, and in the other match, Eastside Girls have a 15 pin lead over Hammer Time. Getting back to the action. Stacy Gelati with just a 3 drop on the spare. Dottie Ellis working on the 4 horseman left side. Misses the head pin, leaves just the head pin. So she'll be open in the second. So on lanes 5 and 6 you see Diane Katz and Lynn Ward. You may recall, if you follow the video coverage that we have, that Lynn Ward, Lynn Thompson, and Jill Wood teamed up with a very successful appearance in the Women's Pro Series team event, 3-person teams, a year or so ago. That was out at Bogey Lanes. And Diane Katz starts out with a spare. She also took out, actually that was the 1-3-7. Let's take another look at this spare by Diane Katz. Kicks the head pin off the wall and it takes out the 7. And Dottie Ellis with the 1-9. This time she kicks the head pin back into the 9. Spare in the third. Diane Katz with, it's going to be 4. Pin came off the wall to get the 8 pin. Dottie Ellis with a 9 fill on that spare, leaving the 7 pin. Dottie has a piece of wood, and she goes by that piece of wood and gets the 7. I don't know if she was trying to do that, but she went by that front wood, converted the spare. Stacy Gelati also with a spare in the 4th, so she has 39 plus the fill, and Dottie Ellis with 46 plus the spare fill. Dottie drops 7. She's got 53 through the 4th. And Stacy Gelati with a strike in the 5th. And Dottie Ellis with a spare. That's 3 spares in a row for Dottie. She has 63 plus the spare fill through the first half. Stacy Gelati with 59 plus the strike fill. And there was a spare in the 3rd by Lynn Ward. She has 27. Here's a look at the strike by Stacy Gelati. 7, and then the pin comes off the wall and takes out the 6, 9, and 10. And here's another look at the scoreboard. Park Place Lanes is up by 1 pin, but they're down a mark because Donna Pope and Stacy Gelati both have strikes. And Eastside girls are, in the other match, they're up 14 pins plus a spare fill that Lynn Ward has. Back to the action. Carol Downey is on lane 4 and Brenda LaMagdalene is on lane 3. A couple of veteran bowlers. Carol Downey has been one of the top women bowlers on the scene for many years. And and there is a spare to begin for Carol Downey. Started to say Brenda LaMagdalene is the owner of the women's world record for a single string with a 207 game that she recorded at Funtime Lanes, which is her home house. Lynn Ward punched out the 1-5, came right in on the head pin on that spare, but just got 2. Trying to work it out, she ends up with a 6 box. And Diane Katz with a 9. Carol Downey working on the spare, and she has got 9, leaving the 5 pin. Brenda with a nice ball on the head pin, but she comes in too full and punches through the middle. Lynn Ward with a solid 1-3 pocket hit. And when Carol Downey just goes by that 5 pin, just snuck by it on the left side. Carol converts it for a 10. And Brenda almost comes back with a 10 box. She does well to wiggle out of that one with a 9 box after that 3 drop. Lynn Ward with 9 for a 44 half, and Diane Katz with a 46 half. Carol Downey drops after a fashion. She gets 8. It looked like it was going to be a 4-7-9 or a 4-7-9-10, but the 9 and 10 went down. On lanes 5 and 6, Jackie Paul is on lane 5, and Tasha Murray on lane 6. And Carol Downey with the 10. Always easier to make it on the 3rd ball. Brenda LaMagdalene, meanwhile, converted that spare in the 3rd. She's got 27 plus the spare fill. Carol Downey with 39 through 3. Ooh, Carol Downey just misses the head pin by a whisker, but it gets that thin hit that you occasionally get, just missing the head pin and clipping the 3, 5, and 8 out of there. Tasha Murray drops 9. She's looking at the 5 pin by itself. And she's got it. Spare in the 2nd. Ooh. Brenda had an 8 drop in the 6-10, but a pretty tricky piece of wood there that deflected the ball around the 6 pin, so she'll be open in the 4th. And that'll be a 10. Brenda has 45 through 4, Carol Downey 46. Tasha Murray will be filling in the spare in the 2nd. And there's a strike by Carol Downey in the 5th. And Tasha Murray with a just about as good a hit in the 1-3 pocket, but she doesn't have much to show for it. Looking at the 4 and the 10. Piece of wood behind the 4. But it's a really tough split, and you can see, well, she kicked it off the wall, almost was able to get something going. In any case, she had an 8 on the spare, 28 through the 2nd. And it'll be a 10. Brenda LaMagdalene also with a 10. Brenda has 55 through the 5th. Carol Downey with 56 plus the strike fill. Brenda will give way to Maria DiFrancesco, and Carol Downey hands it over to Deb DeRocher. And there's another 9 drop by Tasha Murray. Again, she leaves the 5 pin. This time she has a tricky piece of wood at an angle out at the, it's probably about at where the pin deck hits the lane. And that robbed her right there. She had to go really high on that one to push it, kick it into the 5, and it just didn't, she didn't get it high enough. So she'll be open in the 4th. That'll be a 9 box. Deb DeRocher begins with an 8. Maria DiFrancesco also with an 8. Tasha Murray again on the head pin in the 1-3 pocket, a little bit light, leaving the 2, 4, 5, and 7. 6 drop. Makeable spare. And that's Maria DiFrancesco has the mirror image of that. And meanwhile, Jackie Paul with a nice bid to recover from that 1 drop. She almost converted it for a spare. But she'll be open in the 5th. And she'll have a 9. She'll have 39 through 5. Tasha Murray with 56. That'll bring up Laura Paul and Lynn Thompson. We'll take another look at the scoreboard. You can see Park Place Lanes at this point in the match is up 2 pins, but they're down 1 mark because Mass Maniacs have 3 marks. Meanwhile, Eastside girls are up 30 pins. So they're out to a fast start. So Laura Paul and Lynn Thompson will pick it up. Lynn Thompson probably needs no introduction to most of you if you follow the Pro Tours and the tournament circuit. She's won the Massachusetts and New Hampshire state titles at various times, and won quite a number of other events. The 20-string tournament at Leda Lanes, and has a pretty long resume. And you will note Lynn has a pair of antennae that's sort of a headband. Those are Canadian flags. I don't know if Lynn is planning on applying for dual citizenship, but as I mentioned, she's the only American on this team, Eastside Girls. So, and she teamed up with Lynn Ward and Jill Wood previously. And Laura Paul with a 9 drop, leaving the 5 pin. And there's a nice shot by Lynn Thompson to convert the spare. She kicked the 2 pin off the wall. 2, 5, 8, 10. The 2 pin took out the 8 and 10 off the wall. There's another look at the spare by Lynn. 2 pin comes off the wall. And there's her reaction. Laura Paul matches her spare. And there's a nice bid by Deb DeRocher on that 4 horseman left plus the 10. Got everything but the 10. Lynn Thompson with almost the same hit that she just had. Again, a light hit on the right side of the head pin and dropping 6. This time she's got the 2, 5, 7, and 8. And she's got another spare. Very light on the 2 pin, but there was a piece of wood, as you can see, that covered the 5, 7, and 8. So that's 2 spares in a row. Laura Paul with, she had a 3-fill punching through the middle on the spare, but then she works it out for a 10. Nice job to cover one side at a time. Laura Paul has 31 through 3. Lynn Thompson still on the head pin again, this time full on the right side. She leaves the 2-4, so she has 43 through the third, 231 for Laura Paul, and she came right in on the object pin, but got a little bit too much of it. The 2 pin punched it off the 4 pin, so Lynn will be open in the 4th, and she'll have a 9. Laura Paul, and that'll be a 10. Laura Paul with 41 through the 4th. Lynn Thompson on the head pin once again, and she drops 9, leaving the 5 pin with a plank. Not likely to give her much trouble. And she's got it. 62 plus the spare fill in the 5th for Lynn Thompson. So on the in the other match, Joanne Rosano on lane 4 and Beth Powers. Joanne Rosano is undoubtedly, and there's a strike by Beth Powers. I started to say Joanne is probably known to most of you because she has, I think, probably more Pro Tour wins on the women's side than any other active bowler. I think she was the WCBC Bowler of the Year on multiple occasions. I don't know exactly how many, but very, very consistent winner. So on the other side, Faye Sawyer and Jill Wood have taken the stage. And Beth Powers is ooh, and Jill Wood just got robbed by that piece of wood. It prevented her from getting at the 4 pin. Beth Powers with a 7 drop, leaving 1, 2, and 10. That'll be a 9 by Faye Sawyer. A spare by Beth Powers in the 2nd box. Nice shot there to cover that 1, 2, and 10. Terrific shot. Faye Sawyer with a nice 1-2 pocket hit, but nothing to show for it. She's got the 6, 7, 8, and 10. Piece of wood in front of the 6-10 that she'll undoubtedly try to use, but it's very tough. And meanwhile, Jill Wood with a great shot there. She had the 2, 4, and 6, and she kicked it off the wall, hit the right side of the 2. The 2 pin took out the 4 and then came off the wall. Came over to get the 6. Joanne Rosano not too happy with that first ball. Just a 3 drop. Beth Powers 6 on the spare. She has 36 after 2. Jill Wood working on the spare. Very, very light hit. 1-2 pocket, just 4. She's got the 5 in a bunch over on the right side, 3, 5, 6, 9, 10, and then the 7 pin is over there, lurking on the left side. And Joanne Rosano and Beth Powers both with 8 boxes in the 3rd. Joanne with 26, Beth with 44. Jill Wood with an 8 box. Faye Sawyer working on the 4 and 7. And she's got them both for a 10. When we finish this half, we'll take a look at the scoreboard and catch you up on how both matches stand. Jill Wood comes out of the right corner and then throws a ball that has a distinct left to right action on it. Moves quite a few boards, sort of a fade back towards the middle. Really generates a lot of pin action. Beth Powers with a spare in the 4th. And Jill converts the triangle. Faye Sawyer with a spare in the 4th as well. Joanne Rosano with an 8 in the 4th. 34 through 4. Jill Wood to fill that spare. And now she's got 7 on the other side. Triangle 2, 4, 5 this time. Faye Sawyer hits the head pin a little bit full. Leaves a big 5, 2, 4, 6, 7, 10. Some wood that might help. Jill Wood with another spare. She covers that triangle nicely. That's 3 spares in the first 5 boxes. She has 59 plus the spare fill. That's an 8 box for Faye Sawyer. Faye has 51. Joanne Rosano will be open, as will Beth Powers. And, well, I didn't quite catch the last ball, but I can tell you that Joanne Rosano had a 10 box and Beth Powers with a 9. So you can take a look at the scores here. Mass Maniacs are leading by 33 pins, 288 to 255 in this match. Each team has 2 marks to fill. And in the other match, Eastside girls are leading by 50 plus 2. They've got 2 marks to fill. 279 to 229. So we will be back later in the week with the second half of these matches from Lakeside Lanes in Manchester, New Hampshire at the Ladies Internationals Team Tournament.